as I said earlier, it smells really good. Oh, that's really good. I'm just going to try a bit of the potato as well. Oh, the meat is lovely and tender. It melts in the mouth. It's still very warm though, I have to say. Hi everyone and welcome back to Googie's Kitchen, and if you are new here then hello and welcome. My name's Alexis, and in today's video I want to share with you how to make my delicious oven baked beef stew. As I just mentioned, today I want to share with you how to make a really delicious oven baked beef stew. This recipe is really easy to do. It's really easy to prepare and very easy to cook as well. And once you've cooked it, all you have to do is put it in the oven and you can walk away, and that is your dinner done, I promise you. Apart from adding a little bit of spinach or whatever greens you want at the end, that is dinner done. That's how simple this recipe is. So the first thing I've done is I've got myself a large saucepan, and I'm going to put this onto a high heat on my hob, and I'm going to add a little bit of oil to the base of this pan. And then once I've added the oil, I'm going to leave the pan to heat up. The first thing I'm going to do is I am going to add in my beef stewing steak. So I've got about 500 grams of beef stewing steak, and I just want to say that I have turned the heat down a little bit on the pan. It was on high, very high, but I've turned it down to sort of a medium heat. With a stainless steel pan, you don't need to turn it up too high, otherwise the food will cook too quickly and you could end up burning it. So always, with a stainless steel pan, always put it on a medium heat rather than a hot one. And now what I'm going to do is I am going to add in the beef, and I'm going to fry this beef until it starts to get some colour, like a brownish colour, like it's starting to turn now. So I'm just going to continue to fry the beef. The beef has browned all over, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pour the beef onto a plate, and I'm going to put the pan back onto the heat, and I'm going to leave all that sort of scangy stuff in the bottom because that's going to help to cook the onions now. So I have peeled, sliced and diced one red onion, and I'm just going to add that to the base of the pan like so. And I'm going to fry this onion now until it starts to soften in the pan. The onion has started to soften, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in 1 carrot and 1 stick of celery. So I have peeled and sliced and diced the carrot, and then I've just taken the top and the bottom from the celery and I've just simply sliced it. And I'm just going to pop that into the saucepan like so. And I'm going to fry this until these start to soften. Now this will take a little while for these vegetables to soften, so please do persevere. It will take a little bit of time before they start to really sort of soften. They are quite hard. I have in the past grated carrots because they do tend to cook quicker, but I find I like a bit of bite in a stew. So I always like to just slice and dice them. And I have tried to grate celery, and trust me, if you can grate celery, then you're a better person than I am. I couldn't do it at all with the grater that I had. So, and as my friend once said to me, a good workman never blames their tools, Alexis. So I can't blame the grater. It was probably the person, to be honest, grating it. So yes, I do slice them. I do slice the vegetables for a stew just because I like that bit of bite, and my husband and son who don't will just have to put up with it, I'm afraid, this time. So yes, I'm just going to continue to fry these until they start to soften. The carrot has started to soften, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in the tinned tomatoes that I have here. So I've just got 1 tin of chopped tomatoes that I'm going to add to the bottom of this pan. And then I'm going to add in about 250 ml of chicken stock. You can use bone broth or vegetable stock if you want to. And I'm just going to pour that in as well. I think I may need a bit more stock than that. I don't know why I put 250 ml in the recipe, but yes, I might need a little bit more than that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to add in some tomato puree, and I'm also going to add in some tamari as well. So I'm going to add in a couple of tablespoons of tamari. Tamari is soya sauce that's been fermented for longer. I'm sorry if I sound like a parrot, but for all those new people who might not have seen my channel, tamari is as I said, a fermented soya sauce. So it's been fermented for longer than normal soya sauce, and it makes it gluten-free as well. So I have a slight gluten intolerance, so I do like to use gluten-free products in my food if I can. And then I'm going to add some bay leaves to that. No, I'm not going to add the bay leaves, sorry. I'm going to add some potatoes, but at this point I might need to add a bit more stock to this to cook the potatoes. So I'm just going to add the potatoes, and then I'm going to go and get myself a bit more stock for that. So I've got about 500 extra meals here, so I put in 250 earlier. That's much better, isn't it? There you go. And I'm going to turn the heat back up on this as well. So I'm going to turn this up and bring it to the boil. And while that's coming to the boil, I'm going to add in some bay leaves to this as well. So I went outside this morning and picked some bay leaves. And then I'm also going to add some salt and some pepper. So we're quite lucky we have a bay leaf tree growing in the garden. Bay leaf trees, if you do have a garden, are a great place. They'll grow anywhere, and they'll grow in any kind of soil as well. So if you have a garden and you want some herbs in there, bay leaves are a great one, and they add a lot of flavour to food, and they're also really good for your stomach as well. If you're suffering with stomach issues, then bay leaves are great for your stomach. And then I'm going to add in a teaspoon of dried oregano as well, or oregano. And bay leaves will grow all through the year as well, so you don't have to worry about going out and buying them from the supermarket either. So yes, right, I'm also going to add the meat back in at this point as well, and then I'm going to bring this to the boil and leave it to simmer for about 10 minutes. And then I'll pop it in the oven, but I'll show you that in a moment. The pan is coming to the boil, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to turn the heat down, and I'm going to leave this to simmer for about 10 minutes or until the potatoes are fork full. So what I mean by fork full is you'll be able to take the potato out and it will fall off the fork. So yes, I'm just going to leave this to simmer for a good 10 minutes. I think the potatoes are done. I just tried to grab one to show you. So the potatoes are forkful, so that's what I mean by forkful. They fall off the fork very easily. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put the lid on, and I'm going to pop this in the oven. I've already preheated my oven to 160 degrees, and I'm going to put this in the oven now for about an hour to an hour and a half. And by then, hopefully, all of the juices will have soaked into the meat, so the meat will be lovely and tender, and there'll be a lot of flavour in this dish. So I'm off to put this into the oven for about an hour. The stew has been in the oven for about an hour and a half, and it's done. It smells beautiful as well. So I'm going to add some spinach to this, serve it, and then I'll let you know how it tastes. But as I said, it smells really good in here right now. I have added the spinach in, and I let it wilt down. And as promised, I said I would give this a try. So I'm going to give this a try now. Oh, the meat is quite soft and tender, I have to say. I'm just going to try the meat first and let you know how it tastes. As I said earlier, it smells really good. Oh, that's really good. I'm just going to try a bit of the potato as well. Oh, the meat is lovely and tender. It melts in the mouth. It's still very warm though, I have to say. And the potatoes are really well done, but they've got a lot of flavour from the sauce in them as well. So yes, I'm really looking forward to having this for my dinner this evening. That's how you make my delicious oven baked beef stew, and that recipe I will link in the description box below for you. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having this for our dinner this evening, and it smells and tastes so good, I can't wait. So for now, that's it from me. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!